Hi, I'm the orange Fanta girl who named her vagina Jaws, Yvonne deculo.
And I'm gonna need 3 more glasses of this, jgluum.
And welcome to the Victory Lab, where we discuss the most recent episode of Season 9 of... I was drawing lines between me and Valentina, not lip syncing.
Oh.
So there was once again no mini challenge, and like, are we not getting video messages this season? Like, is that a thing that's happening?
Was there just no time for it?
Because we didn't get one. I was kind of sad.
This portion has been
I missed
limited
that.
for time.
This is a pivotal moment in the season because this is the point where we're gonna start losing people that we like, sometimes more fairly than others. This was a group team acting challenge, which is always just a pisser. And every single season, queens get red for not having their shit together when they get into the production studios. I think what happens when you have 2 incredibly creative people is that sometimes they just buckle under the stress and they don't know where to go. And people like Nina, who have 1,000 characters, they don't know where to channel all that energy and they don't know how to focus that into something productive. And I think that's what happened with Nina and Tina.
The 2 of them have kind of more of a low-key energy.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a little bit like having 2 of me doing this or 2 of you doing that. It's like a little too much of that same more low-key, laid-back.
They need someone with a A-type personality. They're both very B-types.
Yeah, they were both bottoms in this, and they needed to be tops.
Sasha and Shea won this challenge because their pilot was freaking hilarious, and they have great energy, and it felt like something that could continue on feasibly.
And it was, what I really thought was clever about it was they kind of did what drag does, which is take actual cultural things and kind of twist it on its head a bit, and I loved it.
It felt almost kind of John Waters-y to me.
Yeah, there was something very John Waters-y about it, and they embraced what they had created. They made a blaxploitation Russian dramedy, lesbian Russian dramedy, and they went for it, just full ham, and it was so much fun.
I think that Mary Mother of Gay had the same problem that Nina and Tina had, was that it felt a little more like a movie, and it didn't really feel like a continuation TV show. Like, it didn't feel like something that could be brought in again and again and again.
The initial concept was good. The ideas are solid. I think the execution was it got a little off track after that initial ladies, because they needed to kind of set up more of a, so what is going to be happening week to week?
I think if it were me on the show, I would have done like a parody of and I would have done something like that. And maybe I would have done it almost like a Wendy Williams style like talk show.
But that's a talk show. It specifically had to be a sitcom pilot.
Then I would have lost the challenge, because that's what I would have done. Like, so you didn't follow the assignment at all. Be like,
no.
Call me Sasha Bell. I misunderstood. Shout out to Trinity, who's proving again and again and again that she's so much more than what anybody thought she was going to be from the beginning. They thought she was just going to be some filler pageant queen, like Roxy and Fifi, who somehow made it to the top. Like, Trinity's proving that she deserves to be in the top.
Trinity is a character actress. You just throw a type at her, and she just goes for it.
You know what Trinity really is? She is a real pageant queen. Pageant queens are supposed to be people who can do everything. Because when they put you into a real pageant, they do everything. And you have to be good all the time, every single week. And Trinity's good at just about everything. She's had her moments where she's not done so well and she's been towards the bottom. She had to lip sync. But she's tackled everything.
Yes.
And she's a true pageant queen, and she's what the standard should be for pageant queens, not people like Fifi and Roxy, who were like okay at 1 or 2 things, but not really good at anything else. This runway was the one that I've been waiting for all season. We've been getting teased about Peppermint's runway since the very first trailer. I was so excited for this runway. Peppermint's look, by far, is like my #1 of all time. Every single runway, like, oh, so good.
I think for me though, what made me love it the most was the way she did her lips and eyes. That outfit for me needs the makeup needs to be right, or I'm like,
okay,
Does that make sense?
I completely disagree with you, Santino, but I understand what you're talking about. There was a picture on Tumblr, and it was like when you order the costume online and it was Peppermint versus when it gets to you and it was Jinx Monsoon in the candy ball. Shout out to Trinity, who did a really good look. I thought it was really strong, but honestly, Shea's was my next favorite. Like, That whole look was fantastic. My only problem was that it was another swimsuit. And I'm kind of getting bored of that, but she sells it every week, so I can't be mad about it.
That pullover mask with like the bracelet, like
all the glue that she had.
Yeah,
on
everything
it.
glued on, and then the bracelet like safety pin with the big chunky safety pins. Like that was so good.
So cool. I think from here up, I loved it. It was just like the waist
the
down. I didn't like
done
that.
More with.
Yeah, because there was so much attention all up here. Yeah, you know, it was that conversation we had about Instagram looks. That it's the focus is here. You know what I mean? And there was so much attention here.
I really like Trinity's too. For me though, hers felt the littlest bit like Club Kid near the end of the Club Kid era. Trinity's to me was like the Club Kids are cool now, so now we're all doing these super expensive Club Kid looks. Whereas Shea's was a little more like, I'm broke and I live in the Bronx and I don't have money, but I'm gonna find these things, glue some shit on me, pin some stuff to me. I'm a Club Kid. That was the difference for me, and that's why I think while Trinity's was excellent, Shea's was a little bit more successful to me in a Club Kid way. Sasha's to me said gritty Club Kid because the emphasis was so much right here with the makeup and that graphicness in the face. That's what, you know, Club Kids had to do sometimes because they couldn't afford to do, you know, a really cool bodysuit or a really cool costume. So it was all right here in the makeup that was so crazy. And then the bottom part was maybe not so good.
I didn't really like that ice blue dress over, what did we decide that color was?
Oh, magenta!
It was magenta, that's what we decided it was. Against that magenta color. I think if it had been like a darker blue, something that had been similar in like the color scale as that magenta, I wouldn't have been as bothered. But because it was that ice blue over that dark color, it just didn't work for me. And I get that like Club Kid doesn't have to make sense totally, but from a fashion standpoint, it bothered me. I loved from the neck up. It was just that ice blue dress I was not a fan of.
And see, I really liked it because I felt like it was very much in the Club Kid Monster Ball feeling of just, this was the fabric I could afford, so I made something out of it, and now I'm gonna go rock the club.
Alexis, once again, totally missed the mark. The makeup wasn't even Club Kid to me. It felt more avant-garde. And then that outfit was just like, it was basic.
It was a cool face.
It was a cool face.
But it
and that's been my thing with her this whole season is that her face is always good.
Beautiful.
It's everything else that needs so much more attention.
She has these ideas and they're not translating. We're not getting what she thinks we're getting.
The train's not reaching the station.
The way I've been speaking about Nina in the past is how I'm starting to feel about Alexis. Is that I need something else, mama. I need something more than what I'm seeing.
And I said it before, and I'll say it again, she blew her load on that promo look, and nothing else has added up to that. Nothing else has reached that level. And I don't want to be like a person that says what's Club Kid and what's not, but I feel like if you were to put all these queens in like a lineup and separated them, so you didn't know that they were all together on like the same runway, and you were to say like, what is Alexis doing? You wouldn't look at that and be like, Club Kid. In the same way, I feel like with Nina, if you were to just put her in a room and say, what is she referencing? You wouldn't think Club Kid. You'd be like, she's doing like...
it's October 31st at Mickey's.
Yeah.
And we're doing...
And she's a zombie ballerina.
She's a zombie ballerina. She's doing Rihanna's Disturbia.
And my biggest problem was that it was a rendition of her nighty runway look. And like, yes, I'm totally okay with doing crazy, cool makeup. What she does is fantastic mug-wise. But creativity, versatility, you know, and like, if she didn't have time to finish the chest, she shouldn't have done that mug. She should have done something else that she could have committed completely to. And I didn't understand the correlation between the zombie look and the ballerina thing.
I think Nina has so much more potential than what she's living up to.
Yeah.
Her face paints are glorious. Like, the detail work on her zombie face on this episode was stunning. Looking at it close up, watching it in Untucked, it was just great. It's exactly what she said. I'm not seeing the versatility there, and I'm sorry, she's very talented.
I'm getting bored.
I'm bored.
I'm not
so
kidding.
bored.
I'm past bored.
This is Max's gray hair.
So now we have our contestant who went home tonight, Valentina. I think the problem with her runway was that it wasn't gritty enough. It's too high fashion.
It was Vogue.
And you can do high fashion Club Kid. There are plenty of Club Kids like Ryan Burke who do high fashion Club Kid. And there's a way to do that, but the makeup didn't sell the look, and I think that the outfit she could have sold had she done something more crazy with the makeup. The hair could have been the same fabric as the dress, like something more. And it was just like her lip sync disappointing because she didn't really put much work into it, and she kind of looked at it like, well, I don't do this, so I'm gonna do something that I would do. And I think that's a problem with younger drag queens, is that they look at assignments and they figure out how they can plug themselves into it when they should figure out how to make the challenge work for them.
They worry too much about how they can bend the challenge to fit their style versus
rather than adapting.
Rather than bending their style to fit the challenge.
Yeah.
Got it. I do think to an extent that if she had at least half-assed it, like ripped that mask off and half-assed it, I really do think that Rue might have kept her.
I mean, Rue gave her a second chance to do the lip sync. There have been plenty of queens who have done shitty in lip syncs before, and Rue didn't stop the music for them.
I've never seen Rue so disappointed.
No.
Rue, there was no happy, sweet send-off. There was
just
no
like, you could have done better. I thought you had it.
It was literally, you know, oh my god. Like, that's what's really devastating about this, is you could just see Rue totally basically saying, you were supposed to be the chosen one! That's what is really heartbreaking about it, is I think Rue really did think Valentina was going to make it. And to just see Valentina go down and go down in
so hard.
Flames so hard, I think it
wasn't even graceful.
Really,
it wasn't even a graceful way.
I was talking to a friend of ours about this, and she said something very interesting. And she said, that's really disappointing because that's the first time in this competition Valentina's actually showed her real age. This is a 24-year-old
who's been doing drag
for a little less than a year. And that hit me, and I was like, oh my god, that's why Rue was so angry. Within 3 minutes, all we had standing in front of us was a 24-year-old kid who's been doing drag for 10 months.
Yeah. And
won the jackpot and pissed it away. I'm very upset.
But it was that drama moment that I've been waiting for.
I was
so disappointed.
Drama.
But that was the drama that I've been waiting for this season. Like, the Eureka moment was a gag. But this was the gag. That was the gag.
This was, Willem, will you please step forward?
Yes, it was.
You have been disqualified status. But even this was that. This wrapped in with, I don't want to hear any more goddamn excuses. All wrapped into one harrowing moment. It was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Never, unprecedented, RuPaul stopping a lip sync.
The key word is disappointed, though, because she threw it away. She threw away her chance, and she Charlie Hides'd it.
Never gonna be
lip
on
sync.
the bottom.
So what do I need to know the song for? I will say that I was really, really hoping this would be the first season where we'd have an immaculate top three that never lip sync. Sasha, Shea, and Valentina, that the three of them would never have lip sync, but I'm not gonna get that fantasy.
Not alas and alack. I do want to talk about one last thing. I've been very hard on Nina, and I was hard on Alexis this week.
But they do not deserve death threats.
No, I do not condone the response at all. Because the truth is, Valentina sabotaged herself this episode. She rightfully deserved to go home. She was not robbed. She shot herself in the damn foot.
If anything, Alexis should have been in the bottom instead of Valentina, because I thought the runway was worse and the performance was about as abysmal. But it doesn't change the fact that Valentina was in the bottom. And that she didn't try.
Not try. She didn't know her words. She argued with Rue motherfucking Paul. It is what it is. And I understand that Valentina is beloved, but fuck, look at Trixie Mattel. Look at Katya twice. You don't have to Thorgy. You don't have to win Drag Race to be a winner. Baby.
And she's not, her career's not dead. The real tea is that Nina had to make her Instagram account private because she's been getting so much hate and death threats, and that is not okay. And Alexis had to disable comments on 2 of her photos because she was getting so many threats from people, and that is completely unacceptable.
It's too far. It's not a new thing with the community, but like shit.
It needs to stop. We have so much discourse in our community as it is, and we as gay people should not be tearing down entertainers on a reality show where they're in a competition. They want to win. They all want to win. And if you throw away your chance, that's your fault. That is not the competitor's fault because this person didn't take their opportunity. Let us know what your thoughts are overall in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can see more of our nonsense. Follow me on Instagram at yvonnedeculo. You can find that in the link below.
Follow me at jgluum. You can find that in the links below.
And we will see you all again next week with another episode of the Victory Lap. Bye!